welcome. How's everyone doing tonight? Oh, I'm doing good. Third time's a charm, I guess. Trying to get it going live there.
You guys joining? I'm sharing this out right now, so give me a moment. You can go ahead and talk to them, Rich.
Yeah, just saying hello. It's been dreary up here in the mid-Atlantic. It's just been like ever since daylight savings time. I know I complained about it before, but I think we've only had 2 sunny days since then. The rest have been rain, and God knows we need rain at times, but enough's enough. You know, I've been watching you down at the down to ballots. And
yes, at the Broward County Supervisor of Elections.
Yeah.
Render, yikes, it's snipes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rich for that hashtag, yikes, it's snipes.
Man, yes, been seeing that sunshine and that heat, and like to have just a piquito, just a bit of it if we could, but.
Oh, let me tell you, it was grueling out there, believe it or not. I give it to those patriots. You know, it's funny, they were accusing all the people out there as being paid protesters. They didn't accuse the left of being paid, which allegedly, and there's some video out there we've yet to pull up, they bust in the Gillum supporters, but they accused the DeSantis supporters of being the KKK and paid, and they actually threw a woman out that was monitoring. They accused her of being with they called them protesters, right, not DeSantis supporters. They called them Gillum supporters, but DeSantis, you know, but protesters on DeSantis people. It's crazy.
Yeah, suspiciously absent on the second day you were down there. I mean, later on you did see a couple of them, but definitely not as many. What was that? Somebody said, you know, they only paid him for the one day, $15 an hour. So.
Oh, yeah, it was ridiculous. But first I want to start, before we even talk about any of that.
Absolutely.
Is Veterans Day.
Yeah,
shout out to all the veterans. Thank you so much for what you do. It allows us to do crazy things like this, silly things, and the families that are behind these veterans, and especially those that lost their life. You know, I just pray for the families, and I'm so thankful for what you guys do for our country.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a day late on the actual day because we couldn't get on yesterday, but you know, everyone's celebrating it today. Thank you for the day off as well, and shout out to my buddy Steven and his buddy Pat and all the guys up at the up there at the casket teams up at Arlington that he served with, and he had his tours of Afghanistan, and man, I tell you what, that was no picnic. Appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And to all veterans watching, thank you. Can't thank you enough. And I really mean that. Now in chat, we have one person chatting. So Sobbing Lamb is asking, what is Stop the Steals? So Stop the Steals is put together by Ali. You can follow at Ali, A-L-I, on Twitter. And Stop the Steal is to stop stealing the votes and playing games with elections. Now, both people on both sides, as I said, for 3 days straight out there, should be upset about this. This is not a Republican or Democrat thing. They shouldn't be fudging with elections, showing up days later with trucks full of ballots. You know, it's out of hand out of there, but I think we kind of stopped the bleeding. We had a lot of people on the ground there. So shout out to Stop the Steal. Also Laura Luma, who is just doing an amazing job.
Put in overtime last night. Apparently she saw some ballot. Well, what they were boxes that came from the ballots. It said provisional ballots, and they did have tags on them, and they were in the back of an Avis car, and it was from one of the people that works with her. They apparently turned in a rental car with a box labeled provisional ballots. Now, I don't know whatever came of that. Definitely did not hit mainstream. So if there
I have an update on that. First, when they returned the car, a quick-thinking employee of Avis called the police and then called the Republican attorney who shot over there and took pictures before they can shut down the whole airport. And if you look on Broadcastify, they said that there was a suspicious package, and they shut the whole airport down. Now, I haven't confirmed if there actually was a suspicious package, or did they do that just to keep the press away, which there is a video of Laura Loomer and that attorney. But the update is that there was only machinery, some type of machinery in those boxes. You know, I mean, at this point, this is what happens. Who believes anything what they have to say? This is why, you know, we need the feds involved. We need the Department of Justice involved. Something crazy is going on in here in Broward County.
Yeah, and keep in mind that there's 24. There was a difference, and my numbers may not be 100% accurate, but they're real close. That 24,000 vote difference between the people that voted for the governor and the people that voted for the Senate race, which really doesn't make sense if you're going to go through the trouble of voting. Matter of fact, the agricultural commissioner, I think, got more votes than the Senate race. So
which is usually unheard of.
Yeah. So and with her checkered past in the election process, that Brenda Snipes down there. Yeah. Anything, especially with the Wasserman election, where mysteriously found 6,700 votes after the count was done. Yeah. It's just,
you know, and everybody's so focused on Broward, but yeah, like you just said, it's also going on in West Palm. But we seem to have people in place. Now, one thing I want to bring up, and Ali brought this up, and Laura Loomer. Ali's very upset, as many. The Republicans kind of were just sitting back until pressure was put on them by the Stop the Steal movement, number one, and then other people just, you know, bombarding them with calls and stuff. They pretty much were sitting back, doing nothing, trying not to appear like, you know, that they're against the system or whatever. But I hate to say this, but let's not forget what happened in 2016. There was a lot of never Trumpers and a lot of swamp Republicans. You know, this could be conspiracy, but is it any mistake that they just sat back? Do they want to lose the House and the Senate so President Trump can be impeached, since they never liked him anyway? They just want to get him out of the scene? I really don't know. I have nothing to back that. But when you sit back and you act like you're weak and pathetic, when the votes are pretty much just showing up days after, you know, the election and truckfuls of them, where are you? That's what leads people like myself and others to speculate.
Yeah, and it's a shame because it looks like obviously the McSally race out in Arizona has gotten lost. And I'll just say this on this, and I said it at the chat when you were down there at Broward County. There is such a huge influx of Californians that are moving in on a monthly basis down there especially in Prescott. A lot of the retirements, they're selling their houses for a lot. They're tired of it, and they're getting away, and they're moving there. And my only thing is this: remember why you're leaving California. And I mean, there's a lot of conservatives, I'm sure, that are leaving, but there are a lot of liberals that are leaving as well because they're tired of it. So when you're going to Arizona, you want the cheaper taxes, and you want the cheaper land, and you want less restrictions on everything that's going on around you. Bring that vote. Don't bring the liberal vote. Bring the conservative vote, because you're leaving a place for a reason. And remember what that reason was, please.
It's amazing. Now, the Republican Party in Arizona, you know, is a lot to be desired there, too. So I don't know what's going on. I can't believe that Arizona would vote for somebody who said it's all right to join the Taliban versus a woman who was a fighter pilot and fought for this country. I mean, I don't know what people are even thinking, you know, but you got to wonder, is there some, you know, crazy stuff going on there?
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that they're not supporting a fighter pilot, because let's take a look at what's happening with Officer Crenshaw. Okay, dispersions cast at him on Saturday Night Live. I think you were tracking that.
Oh yeah, we got that guy's name, right? What's his name?
Oh yeah, you're talking about Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
You know, matter of fact, let me just. Yeah, Los Angeles is too expensive. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and there's a reason why it's too expensive, and that's one of the reasons they need to remember why they're leaving out of there. But Officer Crenshaw, retired lieutenant commander, okay, formerly Navy SEAL, he graduated from Tufts University in 2006, earned Naval Officer Commission.
Now, did you say he's a lieutenant?
He's retired lieutenant commander now.
Not Lieutenant Dan. Well, actually, Lieutenant Dan, but not the Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump.
No.
It just happens to work out that way.
It did. That was good. I like that. I see what you did there. Right. After graduation, he reported immediately to SEAL training, where he excelled and then deployed to Fallujah in Iraq. The first of 5 tours, lost his eye on the 3rd deployment
Amazing.
after 6 months of combat operations. I mean, this guy is, he's just hardcore. I mean, he went on to earn his master's in public policy from Harvard, returned home to run for Congress in Texas in the 2nd district. I mean, this guy has got all kinds of accolades. And then and then you got this guy here, okay? Pete Davidson. All right, supported Hillary Clinton in the 2016 president election. On December 2017, he stated on his Instagram account that he got a tattoo on his leg of Clinton, whom he called his hero, a badass, and one of the strongest people in the universe.
Wow.
Clinton herself thanked Davidson for the compliment, commenting, "This makes it significantly less awkward that I've had a Pete Davidson tattoo for years." Yeah, so if I have to pick one of these people, you know, it's going to be Officer Dan here. So, a shout out to him. And what was the comment that he made on Saturday Night Live?
Oh, like he was talking about Lieutenant Dan Crenshaw, and he was like, "Yeah, apparently he fought in the war and like lost his eye, whatever." Oh. Sorry, but I'm not going to be as polite as you.
Yeah, no, yeah, here it is.
Guy. So here comes a language warning.
Well, let me give the quote that he said. He said, "You may be surprised to hear he's congressional candidate from Texas and not a hitman in a porno movie." Davidson cackled. "I'm sorry. I know. He lost his eye in a war or whatever." And then the audience erupts in laughter, as Saturday night people will. So
right,
go
which
ahead.
is probably a fake button that you hit. We can use that too, you know. But no, this guy Pete Davidson is a piece of crap. He's a low-life, left-wing, disgusting human being, if I can even call him that. Now, where's the left outrage? Now, supposedly they care about veterans. Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? Now, I don't believe in this, asking for him to be fired or the show to be canceled. But that's the game they would play. So, being the better man, Lieutenant Dan Crenshaw
accepted his apology.
Yeah. And even went on the show and was like, you know, just getting along and took the higher road. You know, how many times are we going to be held, even after we apologize, to be fried on music, on TV, or politically? But these guys can say and do what they want while the left remains silent. This is a guy who lost his eye in service. This guy, Pete Davidson, is a complete piece of garbage.
Yeah, and you know what? He can say whatever he wants, but he's speaking on behalf of Saturday Night Live and the network when they employ him to be on their show. So, you know,
absolutely.
And that's where the problem, you know, as far as like Megyn Kelly apologized, did her absolutely no good. She's gone. Of course, obviously they want to get rid of her anyway, but yeah.
No, and I have no love lost for her. But just the same thing is when AJ got, you know, taken off, the conspiracy guy, AJ, I won't say his name since we're live on YouTube. If you don't like him or you do like him, you still should be mad anytime anybody gets shut down.
Censorship.
Like
That's
Megyn
right.
Kelly. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. The double standards is out of control, you know, and for Saturday Night Live to put up with this is anybody surprised? Honestly, is anybody surprised at that?
No. Unfortunately, I don't think that they are. You know, I will say this because I have a gripe too, because I knew you were going to be talking about that, and mine is going to be, I don't know if anybody heard today, but the Vatican, okay, the Vatican came out today and said that they did not want the vote to go through today because there was going to be a vote, and the Vatican tells U.S. bishops not to vote on proposals to tackle sexual abuse and spurns lay and civil investigations. All right?
Right.
So basically what they said was instead, Cardinal Daniel DiNardo, the president of the U.S. Bishops' Conference, told the group that the Vatican's Congregation for Bishops had asked the bishops not to take action until after they had this worldwide globalist meeting of church leaders in February, which
amazing.
And moments later would appear to be an oblique reference to the Bishops' Lay Commission proposal and the growing number of U.S. state and federal investigations into the Catholic Church. The Vatican's ambassador to the United States warned the bishops not to rely on outside investigation, which is funny because this comes on the heel of alleged clergy sex abuse cover-up that happened at the Shrine of the Sacred Heart, a bustling Salvadorian church, where this happened back in 2015. The parents came and said that they reported this in 2015, that 2 of the 3 girls had reported abuse by this guy. And I am just really tired of Vatican justice. They have nothing to do with this. This is pedophilia.
It's been going on forever.
Yeah, I mean, sexual abuse.
How long
pedophilia.
does it take to shut this down? I'm just checking. I'm just checking the broadcast on my phone just to see if it's different than what I'm seeing on my computer. So
no, that's fine. So yeah, it's just you get tired of it, and I obviously, you know, as far as doctrine goes, my problems with the Vatican and the Pope anyway, but still. You would think that's something, but on a brighter note, I will show a brighter note. That's my pup right there. That's Mads. I didn't get,
I don't see it yet, but I'm sure it'll come because I'm always on a delay here.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, I had her dressed up for a couple outfits for Halloween and just day-to-day activities.
You gotta cheer up the crowd with pets. Always.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like there's so much happening right now that's just not, just not good. So. Anyway, what else you got tonight?
All right. So what else were we covering? I got to put my glasses back on. Oh yeah, there's Manny.
That's it.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah. You know, it's such a delay. I can't believe the delay. Okay, so since we're talking about veterans, of course, President Trump was over there in France.
Yep.
Meeting with Macron and. Macron decides to be a POS and talk about nationalism, a nationalist.
Right.
And try to say that that's the opposite of a patriot, which I beg to differ. But just the fact that you use this moment to even bring that up is just really disgusting. Instead of saying thank you to the U.S., because we wouldn't even have a country. We'd be speaking German right now. I mean, not to mention that I forget the guy's name on Fox, which I'm trying not to watch lately. Who's the guy? I forget his name. Anyway, he was saying that pretty much France was the start of World War I. They were just antagonizing everybody, antagonizing Russia because of nationalism and stuff. And here he is taking this day to pretty much just insult our president.
You talking about Steve Hilton at Fox? Maybe
no,
I got that wrong.
Chris Diawalt or something like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Real big on elections. He is on that show, I'll Tell You What.
Yeah.
He was talking about the history of France in World War I.
Yeah.
And they got the nerve,
Yeah, it's hard to, the whole, I don't know, the politicians call for unity. I mean, but unity in what? I mean, ultimately, they speak in the most superficial context. Oh, we need to bring the left and the right together. We're white, black, Asian, Indian. We're the human race, and we can all get along. And diversity doesn't have to mean disunity. But the problem with that is that when it comes down to doctrine, what philosophically, politically you believe, diversity does have to mean disunity. I can't stand on the same side of the pro-life people when they're exterminating life. I can't.
Right.
I can't when I support small government. I can't get on the same side or join up with people who believe that larger government with a pro-modernist slant is the way to go. The culture based on morals and values and ethics goes out the window. I can't partner with that. Capital crimes. There was a guy, I should pull this up. There was a guy who killed this homeless girl. He was homeless. She was homeless. Kicking her head until she died. He got 69 years. 69 years.
Wow.
Whatever happened to the death penalty? I mean, he kicked her in the head until she was dead because he thought that she was wearing her mom's shirt. And it's that kind of wall or no wall. I mean, how do you get unity on that? Because there's nothing more divisive than a wall. So either you believe there's going to be a wall or not a wall. You can argue how high it is or what it's made of, but a wall is meant to keep people out. You can have a gate that people can come through, and that's great.
Right.
as long as it's orderly and it's the way it should be. But so how do you get unity about that? And then ultimately, the Declaration and the amendments, they are either the canon doctrine of what this country is founded on, or the toilet paper. So how do I come to terms? So yeah, when you talk about
back to France real quick, I forgot about this. They're also accusing Donald Trump of nationalism and all these nationalists, which they want to say white supremacists. They didn't come out and say it yet, but they will. And they showed all the countries all over the world that it's flaring up, and accusing Donald Trump of doing this.
Oh, he does everything, man. You know what? My sink was leaking earlier this week.
Right.
I had to fix. I know he had something to do with that too.
Oh yeah, you got to blame Trump for that. It's amazing. And you know, he said, "Come on, let's tone down the rhetoric. Let's all unite." And what's the first thing you do? You got Jim Acosta, the women assaulter. Where was the left on that? Right. Firing disgusting allegations. They weren't questions; they were allegations. Yanking a mic from a girl. Right. I mean, where's the left on that too? So there's your first shot at President Trump when he called for unity. Then you got a Macron, the little piece of garbage, soy boy, skinny jean wearing fool, and wouldn't even have a country if it wasn't for us. You know, it makes you wonder, should we just then move out of NATO? You want to play that game? You don't like us? You want to play that game? Should we just get out of NATO since you ain't paying anyway? Right. And then you're going to beg for us to come back in? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, everybody points to the Denmark and those countries, how great they are, the socialism that they have. Well, you can afford to do that when you have incredibly high taxes and affluent and homogenous society, and you don't have to pay for your own military. Yeah, you can afford to do a lot of things at that point. Yeah, I don't know where it goes, and I appreciate the calls for unity.
Right.
Now don't obviously, just because there's going to be disunity doesn't mean that you can't be civil, you can't be cordial, whatever. But when it comes to nuts and bolts on the issues, how do you get around that? I just don't understand. I mean.
Well, I do want to make another comment on that as far as Macron in France. That being said, who gives a shit what France has to say in that little clown? So anyway, I really want to say that.
That's true. And here you go. I didn't realize this, and we should have reported on this earlier. But Sobbing Lamb says that Trump cracked the screen on his phone. Damn.
Oh, yeah. You should submit the bill to the White House.
Exactly.
I'm sure it was President Trump.
Yeah, had to be, right?
Have something to do with that. Let's see what was on our list here. So what else do we got?
I don't know. I mean, that's we covered a lot.
You talked about Arizona and McSally,
yeah,
which I just can't even. And I did make a little star there as far as the fires.
Oh no, that's sad.
I put that right on top under the veterans. The fires out in California. I mean, wow. I mean, of course, they're blaming Trump for that too, that it's global warming. But forget all about the political crap. My thoughts and prayers for these people, man. Absolutely. And you know, some people are like, oh, you think I'm going to feel bad for these millionaires in Malibu losing everything? Oh, I'm sorry they worked their whole life and were successful. I'm sorry you're a hater. They just lost everything, and people have died. Not to mention, forget the material things.
Right.
So this is a nightmare, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to have far-reaching consequences way past the time those fires are put out. But, you know, and it happens a lot out there. Matter of fact, I don't know if you remember the drone footage that I had of that building. That walk, that was out. Yeah, that was out in Arizona. Walked right up to some family members.
And that video's on 1600 Reasons Why YouTube page. Shameless plug.
Thank you for that shameless plug. I appreciate that. There's a sign. The sign right. Where is it at? Oh, there, right above there. Yeah.
I know. How do you point?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So no, people are people, and just because, like I said, disunity doesn't mean that you don't love your neighbor. It just means that you try to educate them and educate them in a positive way. So,
absolutely. Now, one thing's crazy. I want to thank everybody for subscribing that we asked for the last couple of days. It took us from like 55 to like 85.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much.
And that's awesome. Let me refresh this. But one thing that's troubling. Now, I know a lot of these social media platforms work together. So if you shadow banned on one, you're probably shadow banned on all. I mean, we have 85 now, and we've asked them to turn on alerts. And the most we had watching was 5.
Right.
You know what I mean? 5 tonight.
And
I know
we're
the
not
people
griping.
that just joined up want to see this.
Yeah, we're not griping because it's always for us. It's quality over quantity. So we appreciate
Absolutely.
you. I do
I'm not
miss.
saying that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
do.
you pointed that
Hey,
out.
hey, Rocky, if you're out there, give us a shout out, brother, because
Yeah.
you had mentioned that you're going to be gone for a couple weeks, and it's been a couple weeks. So yeah, just haven't seen you back yet, and so yeah, missing you. So check in with us when you do
No,
get
good
back and
point.
available. Yeah, said he wasn't going to have internet for a couple weeks. I don't know if he does missionary work or what he's got going on, but anyway,
Right.
we thought about
Yeah.
you just
Rocky,
to let you,
reach
just to
out
let
to
you
me
know.
on Twitter. Rich is going to do the closing video, but real quick, as far as this Broward County thing and even West Palm, I mean, now, you know, they're going to do the machine recount on the 15th and then the 18th if a hand count. And by the 21st, they should certify the results. It's crazy out there. I don't know. You know, we're doing what we can. I spent 3 days there. I'm actually a little tired today. But, you know, so many Patriots out there, and meeting Ann Van der Steel was awesome. And Gene, Squeaky Six, shout out, and Ali, and all of the Stop the Steal crew. It was really good to see, and so many other Patriots, you know, that are behind the scenes. It's awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I see Sobbing Lamb said he lives in California. Said a fire, you know, I don't know how close, and if any of those fires are affecting you, your family, any friends that you have, you know, hey, prayers go out to them as well. So, yeah, just keep that
Absolutely.
in mind. Keep that in mind, and yeah, and obviously we're trying to always better the show. You know, the intros, the outros. I do the music just so we don't get hit with the copyright things. If there's any
Yes.
any
Yeah,
com-
let me
any
hold
comments,
on. Let me
any
tell
com-
everybody that all the music you hear, and he tells you what's his, is composed by Rich. He's pretty good with the keyboard and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
well, not so much keyboard as sound loops, EDM stuff. But yes, thank you.
Nice.
Now the rest of my family members are much more musically gifted than me,
Right.
but yeah, no. If you have any comments or any suggestions, please let us know. If it's, but once again, we appreciate everybody coming out here and watching. I don't care if it's 5 or 500.
Right.
Each one of you could have been doing something different. Could have been watching the game. We should have had an update on that.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't say it because I watch it on record. Also, if you're watching the replay or even if you're watching now, share this out. All you got to do is click on share and it'll say, you know, share it on Twitter or wherever, or just copy the URL, the web address of this program,
Yeah.
and copy and paste it in on Twitter and add whatever you want, hashtags, you know, two fools or something, you know, whatever you
Two
want.
fools with a view. That's right.
There you go. That's
But
right.
yeah, stick around for the ending credits. Pick up the information on there. Got some slides, all that stuff. Let us know what you think. Once again, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
Absolutely.
God bless. God bless veterans. God bless everyone.
Yes, God bless all the veterans and their families, and thanks for tuning in.
Amen.
Peace out.
I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we will be good to you. Be good to us, and we will be good. I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we will be good to you. Be good to us, and we will be good. Be good to us, and we will be good to you.